The government has just announced the biggest home upgrade plan in British history. And depending on who you believe, it's either going to slash your energy bills or waste 15 billion of your money. So which is it? So we all know UK homes are expensive to heat and poorly insulated. We're heavily reliant upon gas, which exposes households to volatile pricing. Remember what happened when Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022? Gas prices rose 900%. Cost of living has climbed steadily over the last few years, and many families in the UK suffer fuel poverty. Net zero targets, they often collide with actions to try and reduce the cost of living. And government faces political and economic pressure to act. So today, they acted. Today, the government announced its brand new warm home plans for 2026. This is a £15 billion investment between now and 2030. It has been tagged as the biggest home upgrade programme in British history, or at least that's what they're calling it. The plan focuses on incentivising people to do things rather than banning them from doing things. It's going to offer help to install insulation, heat pumps, solar panels, and batteries. And for those on the lowest incomes, there will be grants available to make this happen. And for those that can afford it, low or even zero cost loans to finance it. And the whole thing is being framed as to be able to reduce your bill, not climate policy. So let's dig into some of the details of what has been announced today. Broadly, it breaks down into four parts. The first focuses on cutting bills and fuel poverty. And the government is saying that with the implementation of this plan, they hope to be able to bring down household energy bills by over £1,000 a year. And this is going to be through a combination of insulation and low carbon tech. Low income households can receive fully funded upgrades for the products that best suit their houses, whether that be solar, batteries, insulation, or heat pumps. And those that can afford the upgrades will be offered low interest or even zero interest loans to finance it. Now, the second part focuses on the technology itself and the funding packages, and support takes several forms in this bill. The government is going to back low and zero interest loans. This means that financial institutions won't have to take the risks. That means that you'll be able to get either a low interest or a zero interest loan for solar panels, heat pumps, batteries. Grants for insulation are still going to be available, and those on the lowest incomes will be able to get this technology for free. Grants for heat pumps, specifically the boiler upgrade scheme, have been extended out to 2030, so still £7,500 towards the cost of a heat pump install if you replace your gas boiler, but that funding has been secured until 2030. There is also going to be a new warm homes agency, and they're going to oversee delivery and consumer protections around this. And specifically, this is going to be in place to try and stop cowboy installers, because we all know when these kind of grants come around, lots of small installers jump up and go, we can make a lot of money here, and end up leaving people with poorly installed or even dangerous installations. So the Warm Homes Agency is going to oversee this and also oversee the quality of the installations. Funding, as I say, has also been put in place for social housing upgrades so that councils and housing agencies will be able to get loans to be able to upgrade these homes. And there is also going to be a provision in the Act for an increase in EPC ratings for rented properties. So this is to stop rogue landlords that basically rent out uninhabitable properties. So from now on, you will need an EPC rating of at least C, which, to be honest, it used to be E, to be able to rent your property. So this will mean that landlords will need to upgrade certainly the insulation in their properties to be able to get a good rating. There is also talk in there of not penalising properties that install heat pumps by reducing their EPC, because this is one of the effects that people have seen is they install a heat pump thinking this will help with my EPC rating, and find your EPC rating goes down. That won't happen any longer. There are also provisions in the plan for new standards for future housing. So one of the things I hear a lot in the comments on my videos is, why aren't all new houses being built with solar panels as standard? Well, the Future Home Standard will mandate that all new properties will need to come with solar panels as standard. Now, they need to take care here because we already see this in new build developments. In fact, there is a big new build development not far from where I live. They're building a new town called Northstowe, and we see what is known as tick box compliance with the new builds on that site. And these are big 4-bedroom houses that have 3 solar panels on the roof and a 2 kilowatt inverter installed. And this is done just to satisfy the planning requirements. There is no thought given to how much energy a 4-bedroom house uses, and will 3 solar panels and a 2 kilowatt inverter come even close to providing that. So hopefully this new standard for new homes will actually put a reasonable amount of solar on the roof and a reasonable sized inverter and batteries to be able to cope with the house's needs. And then finally, they talk a lot about the support for industry and jobs. Funding will be available to support training and scaling up of the UK heat pump manufacturing industry, and also to train installers to install solar batteries and heat pumps. And hopefully a lot of this will go into the training up of new apprentice electricians, because I don't know if you've tried to get an electrician to come to your house recently. We need a lot more electricians in this country if this is going to be successful. Now, as you can imagine, the government makes an announcement like this. There have been a few objections. So let's start with the Conservative Party, because the Conservative Party, I would say, has been a little restrained, but also a little deaf when they reacted to this. Their financial concerns are that they've argued that the plan focuses on green technologies such as heat pumps. Ignoring the fact that solar panels and batteries can bring down your energy bills, they're saying that this is green technology and therefore all green technology is bad, and it will lead to higher long-term costs for households. Not entirely sure how installing solar and batteries on your house will lead to long-term higher costs, but they also say there are alternative approaches. And they say, in contrast to the new plan, previous Conservative-led initiatives often focused on different energy efficiency strategies. And they have previously argued that scrapping certain net zero measures could save families money. So you'll notice there's no mention there of bringing down your bills. There's just about saving you money. So continuing to pay money, but slightly less. They wrap up their objection to this with what they call the carrot approach criticism. The new plan is being represented as all carrot and no stick. Dropping previous targets like a ban on gas boilers, they say, just incentivizes people to go out and install more. Don't forget, this is the same party that was saying that we shouldn't be banning gas boilers just a couple of weeks ago. Now they're saying by dropping the requirement to, or dropping the ban on gas boilers from 2035, that's now a bad thing. My take on the Conservative approach to this is, they have no concrete plan here. This is just criticism, trying to take an alternate point of view. And it's completely deaf to the fact that previous Conservative government policy did nothing to help, or we wouldn't be in the position we are now. We live in a country where children in the UK go to bed cold because their parents can't afford to heat their home. And that is down to previous government policy where they did nothing for the last decade. Now, another objection here, this time from Dale Vince. Dale Vince, the CEO of Ecotricity. Now, Dale is a long-term green energy advocate, and somebody actually I respect quite a lot. He's done a lot to drive green energy forward in the UK. But just of late, Dale has been very anti-heat pump. Now, he says heat pumps are great technology, but he believes heat pumps are not suitable for mass rollout. He has concerns over the cost of the heat pump, housing suitability, and grid upgrades. And all of those are good concerns. But one of the reasons that he has a concern about moving to electricity based heating is Dale has been investing a large amount of money into what he calls green gas production. This is using grass to generate gas, which can then be piped into people's houses to use in a gas boiler. Now, my take here is that Dale is a very shrewd businessman. He comes across as this really affable, sort of almost hippie type character. Dale is a very shrewd businessman. His business interests align with his public view. If we were to ban boilers, there would be no market for his green gas. So I think Dale is a great advocate for green tech, but his views on this are just wrong. There is no evidence that this green gas project, which he is investing a large amount of money in, can be scaled to the size it would need to be nationally viable. How many fields of green grass would we need to be able to support a gas network based on anaerobic digestion of grass? Okay, and I've saved the last objection to last. So reform. Those that have been on the channel know, no, not a great fan of reform. But predictably, they're opposed to net zero and green subsidies. They see the plans as wasteful government spending. I'm not sure how it's wasteful if it's designed to bring down people's bills. But their biggest objection seems to be that solar panels are made in China. Therefore, we are funding China. Yes, the vast majority of solar panels are made in China. They're made in China and therefore they are very cheap. You can buy very large solar panels now for £50 a panel, and you get really good quality solar panels. There are UK alternatives, not many of them, but if the government wanted to, it could buy panels made in the UK. Reform's objection seems to be ideological, not technical. They would like to scrap or reduce all green schemes. All net zero needs to go away as far as they're concerned. So again, my take on this is it's all rhetoric. There's no alternative solutions in there. There is nothing to say, this is what we would do differently. This is how it's going to reduce your bills. It is just focus on the fact that solar panels are made in China. So with all of these critics of the plan, I would say we have to do something rather than nothing. Act rather than be a critic. None of the opposers to this plan offer any alternative plans. Nobody is saying, actually, we shouldn't do that, we should do this, and these are the reasons why. So we need to do something right now because global politics has shown us in the last year we need to be more self-reliant, not less. Reliant on gas imports from other countries, and since the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, with gas prices gone, we stopped importing gas from Russia. We didn't in the UK. We didn't actually import that much anyway, but continental Europe did, and we started importing it from the US. You can see where that's going, can't you? So by not being reliant upon US gas, that means we have to start sourcing gas from other parts of the world, like the Middle East, because there's nothing happening in the Middle East, is there? And for those of you that are saying, drill, baby, drill, North Sea gas, North Sea gas is past its peak. There are companies out there that are extracting gas from the North Sea right now, but it is becoming ever more expensive and ever more difficult to reach the gas that's still in the North Sea. So we're not going to get cheap gas from drilling in the North Sea. It is just going to become more and more expensive. So politics aside, grants and loans change the maths on solar panels and batteries. As with all government schemes, early adopters usually benefit the most. So as these schemes start to take shape and we start to understand what the loans look like, if you are in the market for solar panels, batteries, heat pumps, insulation, take advantage of these government schemes because there is a set amount of money put aside for this. When that money is gone, the scheme will probably close early. So those that can take advantage early on will definitely be the winners. Now, details are still a little unclear. The announcement just happened today. It is the 21st of January, or the morning of the 21st of January. I believe it was announced last night. So there's very little details on how the eligibility for grants versus loans, the timelines, the terms of the loans, all of that detail will come out in the next few weeks. So if you are in the market for solar and batteries, keep a close eye on this. Solar and batteries really do help reduce exposure to future policy changes. The world right now is, to be honest, in chaos. The more you can generate yourself, the less dependent you are on government and energy company changes. If the energy prices suddenly spike and you can generate 80% of your needs yourself, you're not going to be as exposed to all of these swings in energy prices. So to wrap this up, if you are considering solar and batteries, if you've been watching this channel for a while and thinking, we're in the market for this, keep a close eye on this. Watch what's going to happen over the next couple of weeks when those announcements are going to be made about the grants and the loans and how you can access them and who is going to be eligible for what. My understanding is that obviously the grants will be based on people's incomes, people's ability to pay. The loans, from everything I read, suggest that they're not going to be means tested in any way. So if you are going to put solar and batteries in, you may be able to get a loan. Doesn't matter how much you earn. If that loan is available at 0% or close to it, I would jump on it. Act early while support is available. Remember, this pot is going to be limited. There is £15 billion put aside for this right now, and that money is supposed to last until 2030. If you're going to take advantage of it early, just in case the money runs out and they have to close the scheme early. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Will this make a material difference? The government is saying, they could put solar panels on over 1 million homes with this scheme. I think it will make a massive difference, especially for those that can least afford it. So by making the grants available, putting it on social housing and reducing those people's reliance upon the energy companies, I think will be hugely beneficial to this country. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If I'm lucky, I'll see you back here real soon for another video. Take care.